Hello everyone, we are Python stars and today we'll be understanding the programming basics and get started on our journey about learning Python and programming as a whole. Let's get started. So, what will we be learning today? We'll be learning about programming and what it is. Then we'll move on to what is the difference between programmer and coder. Then we'll go on to understand an interpreter and a compiler and differentiate between the both. We will also understand the types of errors that are often seen by a programmer. And at last, we'll introduce you to Python and why should you learn it. So, what is a program? A program is a viable software that runs on a computer. It is similar to a script but is often much larger in size and does not require a scripting engine to run. Instead, a program consists of compiled code that can run directly from a computer's operating system. The word program, as you might have guessed, is the principal word in programming, and programming is a process of writing multiple programs to obtain a specified and fruitful outcome. While we are at it, why not look at what are the most famous programming languages? As you can see, Python tops the list. It is followed by Java and JavaScript. This shows how important Python is and we'll be learning why it is so and how can you create a future in programming and learning it.
Hey guys, this is Muskaan. I think most of you know that a person who develops the code and the person who translates it are different. If you don't, let's know who is a programmer. A programmer is a person who develops the program to do a specific task. He creates the programs and makes calculations. Then who is a coder? Well, a coder is a person who translates the piece of text to a code or a piece of code into text. Coding is a part of programming. What is an interpreter? An interpreter directly executes instructions written in a programming or scripting language without previously converting them to an object code or a machine code. And now, what is a compiler? A compiler takes entire program and converts it into object code which is typically stored in a file. The object code is also referred as binary code and can be directly executed by the machine after linking.
Hello everyone, I am Daksh. So what is the difference between interpreter and compiler? Interpreter, first point, it provides real-time error feedback to the programmer. It means that it will give you the errors side by side you write the code. What is compiler? It enumerates the code errors and mistakes in the code after compilation and execution. This means that it will first compile the file, then execute it, and then tell you errors and mistakes in the code. Second point for interpreter is it is notably slower than most compiling languages or softwares. Second point for compiler is it is usually faster in processing relative to interpreters. What are different types of errors that could be common in our code? First is syntax errors. Syntax errors are errors that happen when the code that we have written is not strictly following the nuances of language, syntax, and rules, and hence the computer can't understand what you have written. It is like talking to a person whose language you don't understand, and the person starts getting annoyed and speak gibberish. The same is the case of computers in syntax errors. Logic errors. Logical errors are little bit counterintuitive. They happen not when our logic of code is wrong, but when the order in which we have written the command or program is wrong and doesn't make sense. If you ask someone to open a water bottle, close it, and then pour it in a glass, they might try to do so. But since the order is no wrong, no fruitful outcome will come. It is same in the logical errors. Semantic errors. Semantic errors tend to happen when the information we have provided or the code that we have written is understandable by computer. It will run it, and after running, the outcome is different from what you expected. If your friend asks you for the direction to a hotel, instead you give him direction to a farm, he will be annoyed with you and stranded. Imagine the same in the case of semantic errors. What is Python? Python is a high-level programming language with an easy-to-use interface. Python was designed by Guido van Rossum and developed by Python Software Foundation. It first appeared nearly 29 years ago on 1991. As told earlier, Python is an interpreter, so let us see one example. Think of a tortoise who is eating plastic, and when you try to stop him, he's not understanding you. But then, as if by magic, he found English to tortoise translator. Now, after you say stop, it gets converted to his language and he stops. Just replace yourself with the human, Python as translator, and turtle the computer. Great, you get the idea? I think so. Now, let us look at a simple code that we will write later, but no need to learn it now. We will write the input name is equal to input. In parentheses we will write enter a name in single quotes, then print hello in single quotes, then name. The output would be enter a name. It will come on your screen, then you have to write your name, then it will say hello Joe Doe. Yeah, we have taken the example. Yeah, really. I think so. You might be thinking, why should I learn Python? Because of its features. It has so many features, like it is portable, interpreted, easy to maintain, expandable, scalable. It uses GUI programming. It is large standard library, easy to read, easy to learn, object oriented. I think so. You got the answer. Why should I learn Python?